Hi there, and welcome to Grow to Glow Therapeutic Coaching with me, Myra. Our chosen book of the month for May is the Little Saboteur. And the reason I've chosen this book is for two main reasons. First and foremost, it's because we all have that little saboteur. It's that internal voice in our heads that very often pops up when we have a task or a goal or ambition or an achievement that we're trying to succeed in. And it very often is heard as a reason or an excuse of why we can't start, or why we can't make the next step, or why it perhaps it's just impossible for us to achieve that goal. So one of the reasons, as I said, that we're talking about this book, and more generally this month around procrastination, or that internal critical voice, that internal saboteur, is because it's stopping us from trying to achieve our goals. It's stopping us from doing what we really want to do in life, whether that's in terms of achievements and goals in our relationships, in work, whether it's in interests and hobbies, or in our social life, or in our friendships. And because we all have this internal voice, this internal saboteur, I think it's really important that we actually find ways to make friends with it. It's important that we find ways to actually make it work for us rather than against us. The second reason why I've chosen this book for this month is actually because we're in lockdown. And because so many of us are in lockdown, and we're going to be in lockdown for the next few weeks, possibly, that this actually is a time where we can actually take that time out to start reconnecting with ourselves and supporting and helping our own mental health and emotional health and well-being. Now, this isn't to shame or to pressurize any one of us into pushing ourselves into achieving more than what is realistic. In fact, it's the opposite. This is actually an opportunity for us to be self-compassionate and show ourselves that kindness, that we can actually help ourselves to achieve things in life that are in a timeline and in a way and in a pace that's much more realistic. Now, there's so much pressure on us in this lockdown because apparently we have all this time on our hands to learn a second language, or to launch a business, or to learn a new skill and hobby. So I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is, how can we make friends with that internal saboteur, that potential inner critical voice, just to help us in our everyday, those everyday tasks that actually in lockdown feel at times quite difficult and challenging to do. So this isn't about going above and beyond. This is about making our everyday as effective and as helpful to us and as productive to us as possible, that is realistic. It's about us achieving the daily tasks that we need to achieve to ensure our own well-being and the well-being of the family and friends around us. So I hope you'll join me throughout this month as I talk about how we can beat procrastination, and how we can make friends with that internal saboteur so that we can actually feel better supported within ourselves, to feel more positive, to feel more motivated and more energized to actually start taking those steps towards achieving, whether it's those daily tasks or some of those bigger goals that we might have for ourselves. And I know for so many people, they have lots that they want to do and achieve post-lockdown, post-COVID-19, that they can't start doing yet. But very often, whilst we're in this period now, what will help us is to actually make friends with that internal saboteur and start to make plans for how we want to make those steps and start to work towards our goals after the lockdown has been lifted.